easy tax authorities to actually deal with. We are not trying to reduce the tax rates or help people not to pay taxes. But we want to make sure that you are able to pay that from the comfort of your home, that you are dealing with transparent tax officials who actually get things done that is in line with the provisions of the current legislation that we have. So put your hands for me, please, to the Revenue Authority for a great job that they have done. The third and final one is the Attorney General's Office. The Attorney General's Office is a custodian of a lot of legal instruments and amendments to our laws and regulations that we do, coordinating that through that central point, but for all the government departments. Whether you're talking in the National Construction Authority or NSSF or KPLC or others, the AGs team have been really, really wonderful in making amendments to a number of statutory acts and legislations to make it easy for doing business in this country. Not to mention the highlight of our regulatory reform, in this country, which was the introduction of a new Companies Act in 2015. That Companies Act really transformed. It's in a way, it's a bit like what our Constitution of 2010 has done compared to our old Constitution. And you can see I'm hesitant. I won't add the word BBI, but anyway, that's a dangerous place to go, right? But what the 2010 Constitution has done really is what the new Companies Act of 2015 has done for this country in making private sector succeed. Because this is an act that enables people to have one director company, as opposed to before where you had to run around and look for people. One shareholder. You don't need to have an AGM. You don't need to have company secretary. These are all prohibitive costs that used to be embedded in the company legislations that was making it expensive for small businesses to thrive. So a lot of things that have happened. So final clap for these guys. Then I just conclude. Now, let me just make a few closing remarks on, especially around why this is important, why this journey that we have embarked on, why doing business easy is important for us as a country. Number one is because this is the right thing to do for our private sector. Remember, businesses are done by business people, by the private sector. And private sector, you will only appreciate the role of a private sector when they are either down, like they were during the COVID season, or when they vanish from the face of the earth. That is when you realize we cannot pay our salaries as government officials. That is when you realize that Kenya Revenue Authority, who collect that on behalf of government, will not be able to improve our collections as a government to do all the things that we need to do for our citizens, whether it's paying for education, paying for healthcare, paying for infrastructure program, so on and so on. And so it is a logical, right thing to do to make sure that the cow that you are milking every day is comfortable when you are doing that. Sorry, you're not cows. I know cows have been used in other places. But you know what I mean. And so for that reason, we want to make sure that you pay the revenues that we use as government, you employ our people, the youth, the middle-aged, and so many others. And it's also important, this program is important because new investors also look at these indicators on how competitive we are as a country. That's also an important thing. Both current as long as prospective. How we are doing as a country. So it's really